And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alien Spaceship stream. You can be watching from anywhere around the country or the world, and I really appreciate every single one of you. Coming to you from the Spaceship Studios from a galaxy far, far away. And now, I'm just going to go to here. Well, I have to plug this thing in. Here. Okay, now it's plugged in. Alright, so hello everybody, it's Alien Spaceship. I hope everybody's been having a great weekend so far. Now what we will be doing is getting into the rabbit holes and different things like that. So there has been some talk today and yesterday specifically also, not from me but from the president, that there will be UFO disclassification documents that will be released that look very interesting. So there has been lots of concern that with the UFOs there is a problem, that if they did disclosure, it wouldn't really be what people think, and people wouldn't maybe get the information that we've heard before. Like, they might say there is a UFO or an alien, but it's not really what people think it is. Or they might give generic information that's vague. So there's lots of skeptical what exactly is going to be disclosed here. So it seems, from what I'm seeing, it's good signs that we're going to get valuable, decent information that is going to be released to us about the UFOs. And similar how with the Epstein file drop that they did, they're going to be now doing a UFO file drop. So that is extremely excellent about this whole thing. And yeah, many of us have seen UFOs or heard about it or seen stories about them. And to get confirmation about it is a not just disclosure but a closure in itself. Getting closure about something. For many years, probably even before I was even born, of course, that people have talked about aliens and were seen as not legitimate, that it was a hoax or people were crazy. So now the tables are turning, and all the people, a lot of people would say, friends, family, people would say that the aliens, UFOs, are not real, and people would get maybe kind of made fun of about it, or people would be seen as stupid. But now the tables are turning, so I do have hope and confidence that they're going to release decent information about this, and maybe even some things we haven't heard of before. Because I do think there's a lot of things in this world and in this place, Earth, elsewhere, that there's more to it than meets the eye. That's what I think. That there are so many things that exist in the oceans, for instance. And we've always talked about how in the ocean there's so many things that are undiscovered, so many creatures, and I'm sure there's things they know about they don't want us to see because it would freak us out. And the biggest thing from what I have seen from various people who could have worked in there or insiders from research I've done, that a big reason is they didn't want a public panic over it. And that is what I think. People will buy toilet paper, when the COVID-19 happens. They'll buy a bunch of beans, or what I mean by that is they'll hyper focus on one product. And all these people have like a hive mind and go and get something and not really think about logically what's going on. But I'm saying like we all have our moments of not thinking logically or making a mistake or something. And no one's perfect, but still, the a lot of people in civilization I think would have issues with it, especially if there was concerns of a War of the Worlds type scenario happen. Now that is the worst case scenario to happen. Now there's talks about Project Bluebeam and Project, about a fake alien invasion happening, and if such a thing occurred, it would be devastating to Earth. But then these real aliens will come in, and then you'll have some more problems. Apparently. Oh, hello, Zero. Just who I want to see. So, why did you get a picture of a fried circuit breaker? Okay, so over in one of the smaller fighter pods, which is also used for transportation, there's this, you know, a Raptor 216, which is used, like one of our UFOs that lead the mothership that can be used for various things. One of the aliens were on it with me, and I noticed when we were going in there in the UFO to go explore some places, there was a breaker in it that was fried. Right, so we go to turn on the little UFO, and the lights are on and everything, but it's kind of glitchy, and it wouldn't really take off because there's a safety mechanism that was put in it to protect it from something happening. So that is good, but these small Raptors need to be able to work. And it's been a while since I did checks on it. It's been a while since anybody really looked into them because they're being used just recently. So it's not really a big deal, but yeah, there is a fuse in it that must have blew out at some point, and it has to do with one of the Raptors that's used. And just there's a program in the computer where you can just do a sweep over all of the Raptors that are there in the mothership, and it should fix them automatically if there's any more. But yeah, that's what happened. We were in there and we took a snap, and we had it teleported to you to see, because yeah, there should have been. I should have had the Eros, the inspector, go and look at them, but I just assumed that it was up and running because I thought they were newer, but they have been. It's been a while since they've been used. So that is the issue about the fried circuit breaker. Yes, it was in one of the Raptors. And for those in the audience, a Raptor is basically a UFO, a flying saucer that leaves a mothership. There's like the main spaceship we're on, and these other little tinier, these little smaller ones. Sort of like Star Wars, how you have a big ship and you have these little small ships that fly around. When you're traveling in space, you'll have these things happen sometimes, and that we have Zero to help us go through the galaxies. Yeah, yeah. So I think it is very important for these UAP. Now, the reason why they're called UAPs, my opinion, is that the government didn't want to acknowledge UFOs and their errors about them, or could hypothetically have been a remarketing tactic for the modern age. Those were from the old ship you had before the upgrade. They are quite aged. According to the computer, there are 5 others that need to be replaced. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Zero. I thought they were newer than they were. Mac, Mark, good to see you. Yeah, so Zero, okay, thank you for informing me on that, and would certainly, are the new ones, I don't know if I ordered new Raptors, I don't know where they're located, and if I haven't, I want you to order more of the Raptors. Yeah, because I slacked on that. I must have thought one of the engineers must have given me information about it, and I thought it was replaced, but they're older ones. I thought there were older ones because I go in there because okay, him and I go in there right into the UFO, and it's just kind of musty, like kind of space must in there, a little bit dusty. But I thought they were newer, and yeah, it just didn't seem like it was working right. So okay, it was an older one. Yeah, because I was thinking they were newer, but when you're just going into a UFO to go out and travel around to a nearby comet or asteroid. Oh, hello UAP, good to see you, buddy. When you're in a comet or asteroid, when you're by it, it's you don't always think about if this is a new Raptor or not. So yeah, definitely. If they're new ones, I need to know where they're located. If we haven't, I want more of them to be shipped in the next shipping. They come in these interesting boxes. All right. So, and hello UAP and Mark. Yeah, there are lots of UFO disclosure that is going on, and I am glad that the UFOs are being talked about more because, as I was saying, like, UAP has seen them, and he's put them on his channel, and they don't look like anything from this world. So it's not like something from what we usually would see. It's something that's beyond our comprehension. Oh, okay, Zero. H deck. Okay, Eros and I will go on H deck, and we will go there to find the newer ones. Okay, because I thought we had them there, but I was going to a deck that I wasn't usually going to in the spaceship. Okay, thank you, Zero. That is noted on the record. And Mark says, I like Earth. It's going to the circus every day. Yeah, Earth is certainly like being on the circus every single day. When you're out in deep space, it's very beautiful to look at, but of course there could be um, not as much activity sometimes, unless I go and detach myself. Oh, okay, yes, yes. That's where it is because I'm sitting here thinking I know where H deck is, but I get it. Okay, H deck is where the secondary storage hatches. Okay, I got you. So on H deck, oh, hello, Ghoul. It's been a while since we've seen you. Welcome back. We are talking about the UFO disclosure. Oh, okay. Zero said it's not the main access. Yeah, because I'm used to using the main access way and not the way we usually go. So I got that noted, and I will look on the map of the spaceship to, you know, make sure to circle that region. All right. It's noted on my 4-6 droid. Yeah, the my R6 droid has noted and recorded the information. All right. So Shade, yesterday, President announced, the United States President announced that there would be UFO disclosure and that there's interesting documents in it. Now, politics aside, I think if they do release decent information that can give not only disclosure but closure about the UFOs and aliens, I think that would be a positive thing because so many people have seen these UFOs and so many people have seen everywhere all this stuff for decades, probably centuries too, and now finally, well, they seem like they're going to release some interesting information, not just Timu information. We'll see though if it's legit. If it's because sometimes people have told me that are been in the field more than I have that there's been talks of UFO disclosure, but it doesn't actually happen. But so it looks like this time looks promising. We'll see how uh, these UFO files go. Joe says it's the other hole on the back of the ship. Oh, okay. Okay. The other hole. Yeah, because I was going in the opposite direction. Okay. Facts. Yeah. Because when this spaceship's constructed, there's all kinds of different compartments in different places. There's even trapdoors in the spaceship. So it's like built like a giant like old mansion, but with a spaceship version. So Zero knows the layout like the back of his hand. And although I was the main architect that wanted to that thought of it, my sidekick Zero remembers exactly which places were. So Zero says, "If you like the new ones, I can make a trade for 3 of the old ones for a new one." Oh yeah, yes, Zero, please do that. I appreciate that very much, definitely, because we. Yeah, so the trade off Zero would be a very good idea because sometimes I might even forget and just go in there with Eros, which is another alien, and like, oh, in deep space, and I turn on a defective spaceship and it's beeping, and I'm slowly kind of drifting downward, scared, and then they have to have the rescue drones to come out and bring me back. Yes, I drew it and he built it. Yes, that's true, absolutely. And Ghoul said, and I see what you're saying, Mark. I'll see that in a moment. And Ghoul says aliens wouldn't be cool with our government. LOL. So if they have anything to say, disclose, it'll probably be lies. I hear you. I hear you. And or if they do tell a truth or a half truth, they're going to twist it around for some sort of narrative, maybe. And I will. We will judge it all together when it comes out. But I I do wonder if I think something I thought about before is that there's a point which I've told you all before. I think is that when they talk over and over again about these aliens, there's a point where they can't hide it anymore, so they have to release it. So, yeah, I don't know what they're going to release, but they say it's very interesting, and it could be lies or half truths or to support an agenda of some kind. But I hear what you're saying. It's I'm taking everything with a grain of salt and just being cautious. And let's see, UAPR, you're beaming me up, Scotty. Tech works. I ended up table food was plate amazing. Oh, so Mark had an amazing food on the table. Excellent. Hello, Star. These are my computer live streams that I do on the computer. Yes, that is Star. Star is from the phone lives. By the way, Mark, UAP, and Ghoul are new people from the phone lives. And by the way, shout out to all of them. Yeah, right. And oh yeah, UAP. We know that they're real, and we don't need anyone to tell us otherwise. Now, the thing about with me is that people that were skeptical, not that it matters what other people think, but people that were skeptical about it, they are extremely, you know, thought that it wasn't true, and they're going to probably feel foolish. Although I don't wish anything bad on anybody, that it's kind of like I told you so to them about the aliens. That a lot of people thought they weren't true, so maybe there would be more people that would. A good thing about it is there would be more people that would come and join the UFO discussions, and it would become more of a mainstream thing. So I do think it's positive that they are going to talk about it. But of course, we didn't need their approval or evidence. We knew it's like we before it was disclosed, we believed in it and we saw it. So that's excellent. That in spite of what others say, we we did it anyway. Oh yes, yes, absolutely. Here we go. We give him a shield. Okay. Yeah, Star. What's up? Okay. And we have that here. Let's see. So yeah, Star, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So right here is the main point. So the president recently announced that the declassification of the government files regarding UFOs and extraterrestrial life is well underway, and that the first. Oh, thank you, UAP. Thank you. Regarding the UFO's extraterrestrial life is well underway, and that the first release will begin very soon. Very, very soon. All right, the formal directive in February 2026. Trump ordered the Department of War and other federal intelligence agencies to identify and prepare records related to the unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, UFOs, and alien life for public release. The interesting finds. So during the Turning Point USA event in Phoenix on April 17, the president stated that the ongoing review has already uncovered many interesting documents, and the administration registered the Oh Hello Mermaid. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Mermaid, I hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining us. I look forward to seeing your pool's explorations that you're doing in your game. All right, so the central website. The administration registered the aliens.gov in March of 2026 to serve as the official repository for these declassified materials. Hello, Lee Smith. Welcome to the stream. Yes. And so them registering a. Oh, that's good, Mermaid. Excellent. Excellent. So they, just as when the Epstein files are released, oh, they had a government website, which I wish more information about that would have been less. There have been less redactions. I understand that there's people that are involved that are in cases or for the victim's privacy, but there's a lot of people that are being concealed. Yes, Lee, there has been development. So in this situation, there's been announcements that president is going to be releasing, although we don't need anyone's approval or anyone to confirm what we already know, what UAP and I already know, but they're going to be having this website. It's going to be putting UFO files on there and disclosing to the public, officially confirming that there is aliens and UFO life out there somewhere. And there's very interesting information they say is being released. So there's concerns that the information is not going to be 100% or it's going to be like Timu information, but it seems that they apparently have some bombshells they're going to be dropping. So the normie people and the rest of society can have 100% confirmation that exactly we know. That so UAP, we know here. But other people, the normies, the sheep, they don't, they could know that there's something going on. Shout out to my tools. All right, and couldn't Santa find better tech rather than reindeer with red nose? Well, Mark, Santa does that for sentimental reasons because he could, but it's in the beginning he had reindeer, and it's kind of like driving a vehicle that's been used for a long time. Like, say someone had an old car from 30, 20 years ago, and they use the same thing. That's the whole point. But he definitely has better technology to use. Yeah. But that's what he chooses to do. I mean, it's so iconic with the before we were all born, they were talking about Santa in a sleigh flying around. The 1900s 1800s, probably the 1700s, going all the way back to the beginning of time. Pretty much, they talked about this thing happening, and there's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That one is yeah, it just Rudolph was kind of like an outcast, and he had a special gift with his nose, and he could have used something else, but he wanted to give him some, to be the star of the show. So that's what he did for him, and now he's famous everywhere. They made movies and all kinds of things about him. And now Mark says Santa equals Satan. I have heard of that before, but I just think that they're Latin words, from our English language that mean two different things, but that have similar mirroring to them. But I do wonder what the origin. I do also agree with you. The two words are very oddly similar, and I would be kind of wondering if there's any kind of link to that. But I don't even know what Santa means, or if it was a code for something else. So thank you, Mark, for that. I do agree it's very odd that both words are worded that way. If there's something else more sinister about it. Now, I know Krampus is this demon goat thing that steals kids when they're bad at Christmas. And I think there's been allegedly... I know that's what I think. I think that's what it means too. But, it means like Santa Maria, or it's probably a Latin word. But when we translate things into English, and some other language, it's probably a Latin word, and we all originate from Latin. But the English version and some Spanish word might look similar, but they're not the same thing. Like, I don't think they're linked at all. But it's an interesting thing to think about. Now, let's see about that. Let's see. Oh, hello there, Falcon. Yes, so the definition: Santa is a legendary patron saint of children, and is thought to bring. Okay, let's see. This word Santa. Let's see. Yes, the word Santa is Latin for saint. Although it's similar to Satan, it's two different meanings to it. Right. So saint or holy. So the name Santa means saint or holy, and it appeared in the 12th century. So it has to do with Saint Nicholas. Now, interesting thing about Saint Nicholas is that in this context, so in Latin, like what I was saying, Latin, Santa is anointed, meaning saintly or holy and blessed. That's the meaning of it. It's a Latin origin. It's Spanish. It's a Spanish word. Hello, Moki. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad to have you with us. Yeah, Santa Maria. Santa Maria. Yeah. And there is, so that is the mean. But interesting, though, that the two words are kind of, Satan and Santa are eerily kind of similar. Yeah, Lee, that would be a twist. Yeah, there you go. They all would have to be satanic, right? B, it's all fake. And like anything lined up with you guys have seen. Okay. Yeah, hit the like button. I appreciate it. Okay. So we have saint or holy means blessed. So it's just from a different language that's similar to our language. Like, it's Latin origin, and ours. Sometimes there's a collision of two different versions of language. All right, shout out to all of you, and hello, Falcon, buddy. I'm glad to have you here with us. All right, so something very interesting is happening where there is going to be the alien disclosure coming out, and the president said it's going to be... Oh, thank you, comedy. And in Latin, Santana is Satan. In Arabic, it's shaitan. So just by the way, in the Arabic, it's shaitan. In Latin, it's satana. Okay, thank you, comedy. But yeah, it's I could see where the two words could be mixed up. And Moki says, "Did I tell you missing scientists are up to 11 now?" Yes, we did discuss that, Moki, in one of our briefings, and recently it was about yesterday, and yeah, I think that is extremely creepy and frightening that an 11th scientist. Oh, amen, amen. I am glad to see that she is based, and she is definitely based. And Congresswoman Luna just tweeted, "Read the Book of Enoch." Yes, absolutely. Oh, well, shout out to her. She's on point. And Devil and Santa rolled into one. Scared. Hey, she talked about Book of Enoch before, but she just tweeted it an hour ago. Well, I'm glad she tweeted it. Definitely. Oh, okay, Zero. Thank you. Thank you for the heads up. Yeah, so that is what I think, chat, is very cool. That. Oh, thank you, Zero. I agree. A Amen, Falcon. And let's see this right here. Okay. and there's a video online of the Book of Enoch, but I'm afraid you'll get a strike for playing it. Playing one. Yeah, scared. You could send the link in the chat, Moki, if you like. I'd be curious to see it. But yeah, I know sometimes when I play things, they'll go and do the copyright um thing. It's stupid. But some people are gluttonous, right? And so Moki, earlier this morning when you we saw each other on my live stream, I what I did was I looked into I read the Book of Enoch parts for chat, and it was very good, and it's really explicit about the aliens and the hybrid creatures that were created. It was a very good read, and the chat audience really thought it was fascinating. So it's certainly a book that should have been kept in the Bible, I think. It's organized religions and church politics, the various different Christian denominations that kept that book out. That's why the Book of Enoch is in the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible, and they kept the Bible perfectly preserved. Okay, Lee, thank you for stopping by, friend, and look forward to seeing you soon. And also, there's, as I said, when we okay, and something's going off. I have to go look at this. All right, let's see what this. All right, I'm back. All right, and Moki says it really does think we are going to get another flood soon. Yeah, yeah. It's now. I think apparently from what I Eugene. Hey, bro. Glad to have you here with us. Always good to see you. So what happened with the flood. They say that the flood would never happen again, but I have my doubts about that. I definitely think that there would be a great flood that may occur because of all this messed up things happening in the world. So yeah, definitely we're similar times like we were in the past. Like the times of Noah is repeating itself. Definitely. And Moki said supposedly AI creator Sam Altman is building portals and summoning aliens. I don't doubt it. There's quite a few people in various cults and things that are doing this, that are summoning UFOs. Like for instance, you have people like UAP recommended channel of has very great information about the UFOs. They are out there, and there's people that have summoned them before. There's people that are in different occultic type practices or some different types of spirituality. Maybe call it some sort of paganism of some kind. Uh, I would say it's some sort of spiritualism of some sort. They're able to summon UFOs, and yeah, it seems similar to other things we've heard about. Falcon, I agree. The kingdom of heaven is within, definitely. And Moki says, "I'm ready for another flood as long as I can go to heaven." Yes, and Moki, definitely. You have a very nice place for you up there. Much rewards up there, and it'll be better than being on the earth. Definitely. Yeah, the way they move is extremely unnatural. Nothing like our technology can do what we have now. Yeah, it's absolutely daunting, and must be summoning going on in military bases here. Oh yeah, because UAP is seeing lots of these things being summoned at UFO bases because the military over there, where he is, they're all over the place, and it seems that aliens are trying to monitor what we have to see how powerful we are, stuff like that, to try to see what we're doing. So definitely, they're doing it out in plain sight. And hundreds. There are hundreds of them. Yeah, that is wild. It's like a whole army of them. And Oki says, I don't know what's going on, but there for sure something is going on. Right. Absolutely. And with all the like people can't deny like there's these things flying around. People can't deny that there's something going on out in space and on our planet that we just can't exactly explain right now. Disclosure has already happened. The majority just didn't take it any notice. Exactly, Falcon. And as the saying we say on this channel is that nobody really looks up. A lot of people are just stuck looking at the ground or on their phones. So that is another, good metaphor about it is that a lot of people just are sheep. And like we were talking about that earlier in the morning garden live that kind of happened. That basically people, people are looking at these different videos and things and not taking it seriously, and that there's people that were fooled in all kinds of stuff. Oh, throughout recent times, and that they're just going to be, they're not really thinking critically a lot of times or paying attention. That's why I believe that the Matrix is in full effect. I know a UAP could almost seem like sometimes like talking to a brick wall. You know, it's when people think it's not true or not real. Uh, it could get an irritation at times. As I remember, like 2008, 2009, we were talking about lizard aliens and Planet 10 and aliens, and people, other ones were like, "Nah, that's not true." And the teacher was like, "Oh, there's no such thing as Planet 10. It doesn't exist." But actually, if you look at NASA, they're saying it does exist. Amoki, I did not see that. Let's see. Did y'all see Trump signed order allowing this psychedelic drugs research to treat mental health disorders? Yeah, I. That's very interesting. Yeah, a lot of people don't even care. Yeah. So yeah, that's something that we will look into right now. Yeah. Okay, and let's go this way. On Saturday, okay, here's the headline. So on Saturday, April 18, 2026, President Trump signed executive order aimed to accelerating medical research and treatment using psychedelic drugs to combat mental health crisis in America. The order focuses on substances like psilocybin, magic mushrooms, and ibogaine to treat conditions such as PTSD and severe depression and anxiety. And Oki said, "My BFF looked straight at me in the face and said, 'Aliens aren't real.' I told her I accept her apology in writing." Yes, facts, Smokey, facts. Definitely. That's the only way. She has the apology in writing, definitely. AP says, "I'd love to go on a script of LSD and watch these things fly around." Oh, that would be very trippy. Yeah, that'd probably be very surreal, definitely. Yeah, sharing is caring, facts. And yeah, so there are I was talking about this early in the morning, and how the drugs can cause people to have bad trips, and because I believe that it opens the mind up to these other dimensions that people may not, some dimensions you weren't supposed to see or be familiar with, but maybe they can figure out a way where they can do it in a safe way to help people, or can people, there are people who have good trips, so if they could find some way to find a middle ground where people can do these things without it, causing them to see the forbidden realms, that cause people problems. That's the bad trip, is the forbidden realms. So that would be good if you have more research about it. They could know more about them. If you don't research something, you don't know anything about it. So yeah, very interesting. All right. Okay. So Mermaid says Miranda had a bunch of trips and many dimensions and found my way out, and it can help you if you do it in portions. Okay, Mermaid. Thank you for the tip on that. I got you. Yeah, and MK Ultra used MK Ultra used these things to try to brainwash people with that. Oh yes, okay, thank you, Moki. Understood. And ibogaine and pistol, uh, and also magic mushrooms. Okay, FDA fast tracking the. Right, and FDA tracking directs the Food and Drug Administration to expedite the review of psychedelics along with the designated breakthrough therapies. Oh, Falcon said we'd love to try peyote. Oh, interesting. And Marie said, absolutely, don't do many others psychedelics. They're horrifying and just medical ones. Yes, yes. Thank you for your take on that. All right, right to try expansion. So here are the stats. Okay, the FDA tracking directs directors of food, the FDA, Food Drug Administration, to expedite the review of psychedelics already designated as a breakthrough therapies. Increased funding allocates 50 million in federal funding to match state level investments in psychedelic research programs. Right to try expansion establishes pathways for eligible patients to access experimental psychedelic treatments under Right to Try Act. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's very spiritually awakening, Falcon. Absolutely. All right. Rescheduling reviews orders the Department of Justice DEA to initiate rescheduling reviews for these drugs as soon as successfully complete phase 3 clinical trials. Okay, thank you. Okay, and let's see this. All right, let's switch windows. Okay. All right, we'll remove this window right here. All right, shout out to the spaceship cats. All right, Trump, yeah, Canada, UFO. Let's see. That is actually some other language. Anyway, so this is a in Nevada's Valley. All right. Oh, hello, Zero. Hey, buddy. Okay, so this is a UFO seen in the valley of Plus in Nevada's what's it called? Amar Amargosa Valley. That okay, chat. Remember how I told y'all I saw a UFO one time? An orb? That's exactly what it looked like. It was that blue sphere thing. That's what I saw. Exactly what I saw. Wow. Like you said, they basically give you bad trip on psychedelic. It freaks you out so bad you don't want to do drugs again. And it's from MUFON, so it's been vented. Oh, thank you, Monkey. Appreciate it. Okay. And I could look at this while I read this. Okay. So, influential support. Scotty, did you beam me up? I ended up on the table with hot meal amazing. Yes, that happened, Mark. Fact. All right, influential supporters. The signing ceremony in the Oval Office include podcaster Joe Rogan, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and FDA Commissioner Marty McCary. Commissioner McCary stated that under this new initiative, some drug approvals could potentially happen in weeks, not a year, if they meet national priority criteria. Joe Rogan's role. During the event, Joe Rogan mentioned he had privately lobbied the president via text message to take action on these treatments. Oh wow, it was 10 times bigger. Okay, that's a pretty big sized UFO right there. All right, Trump highlighted the potential impact for veterans, stating that these experimental treatments have shown life changing potential for those suffering from severe depression and PTSD. All right, so that is the Trump with the psychedelics. Yes. Okay, so recap from what the UFO disclosure. The Department of War has been ordered the intelligence agencies to identify and prepare records of the UAP, UFOs, alien life to release to the public. And this was said at Turning Point USA. There's a website out called aliens.gov where just like with the Epstein files, they're going to release these types of information to the public. Congressional pressure. The follows the demands for transparency from lawmakers of Anna Paulina Luna, who recently subpoenaed the Pentagon for 46 classified UAP videos after missed April 14 deadline. Expert researchers suggest that the release could include high resolution military videos, satellite imagery, and non human craft and radar footage. He has, the president has been remained neutral about it, but he has acknowledged a tremendous interest in aliens. He doesn't know if he's a believer, but it really captivates the mind. Oh, thank you, Falcon, for gifting 10 memberships. I appreciate that very much. Oh, and Amanda was gifted a membership. Shout to her. And Katie and Zero. That's awesome. Great job, Falcon. And all the other people gifted memberships. Congratulations. Yeah, Zero, you have a bunch of emojis now you could use. Okay, so let's look at this one. Okay, this is a UFO filmed near Sac, Holland by military helicopter. Wow. Oh, and Todd was gifted one too. And also, to the other people that were, let's see, some a load mouth is from Trial Chat, and Serena, and Christoph, Minnie, all of them. Congratulations. All right, and yeah, it's hard to know what's real and what's fake because a lot of things can be generated by computers and or fake some other kind of way. And there's also alien craft that we have. There's also alien craft that we have that was created by us. They're created by us, but they are known to be of from alien origin technically. Mark, I don't know the song offhand, but I'm aware of it. Yeah, tell us, Mark. Tell us. We're not going to show the next clip. All right, this is another UFO. Wow, look at that thing. That is a plasmoid right there. That is a plasmoid. I'll make it bigger for y'all to see. That's a plasmoid right there. I heard once that a lot of UFOs are from Hollow Earth. I can believe in sea bases before inner Earth. Yes. Okay, so that what you're seeing on the screen is a plasmoid type thing. Okay, we got this new one right here. Yes, squids is a good one. Yes, that's a good name for them. All right, Utah, United States, 5 p.m., 2nd September 2025. This man films the translucent orb hovering above his house for 20 minutes and on a windy day. His iPhone battery died 6 times, ended up using a 5 zoom camera that he had problems also. Here's the story.
Hands couldn't focus on it. Finally, finally, I got this. Got a way out here.
Sony. Okay, let's watch this. Mark says, I'll die for you for equals April U equals 21, bring 21st letter. All right.
It was 7:30 this morning, and this is September 2nd, 2025. I recorded this about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it sat over our home for about 20 minutes. And my battery kept dying. It was full when I walked out to record it. I tried to use my iPhone just died 6 times. It's never done that before.
Well, thank you very much, Loki, for doing that for me. In chat, I appreciate it, and yeah, you definitely have done a lot, and your algorithm, I'm sure is out of this world from another galaxy because of us and myself. Thank you. All right.
5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it sat over our home for about 20 minutes. And my battery kept dying. It was full when I walked out to record it. I tried to use my iPhone just died 6 times. It's never done that before. It just died 6 times. And battery exhausted. I couldn't record it with my iPhone. I had to put it away. I had to get my phone upstairs. I tried to get my telescope. Telescope couldn't focus on it. My Nikon 140 millimeter lens couldn't focus on it. Finally, I got this way out here Sony camera that was able to do it. Little Sony Cybershot actually was pretty powerful. Has a Carl Zeiss zoom, and 50 zoom on it. Anyway, it's pretty old, but it worked. It did the job. But the battery kept...
Oh, yes. Absolutely, with Aaron's algorithm. Yes, very funny. Definitely a win.
Dying again and again and again. Unbelievable. And look at this thing. It was just hovering. And then it started slowly moving away after about 20 minutes, which is really, really weird. It just started moving away. And I thought, weird, it's so windy, and this thing is just sitting over us for 20 minutes. But guess what? As it began to slowly move away, I said, hey, let's get in the car. Let's drive that. So we drove up there. We drove as far as we could up to the mountain, up to the golf course. There's almost a car accident. And we all got out. We started recording best we could. And we couldn't see it. We could see it with our eyes, couldn't see it on the camera. But it was moving away very, very fast. I'd say about 80 to 120.
All right, now here's the next one. Yes, amen. I want that for you too. Huge UFO sighting in San Clemente arrives in Mexico, stops in Tijuana.
Valiendo, madre. Mira, y tiene destellos de luz. Sí. Ay, se me perdió. No, está algo ahí. Está completamente estático. Mira, le salió algo de abajo. Le salió algo de abajo.
Okay, and now the next one right here. Ah, yes, I have, Moki. I have reacted to this before in one of my videos. Very good. Yeah, I reacted to this before. Yeah.
We're in the middle of the ocean on a ferry. Nothing around. Look, nothing around. No land, no nothing. Look, nothing in the sky at all. Then all of a sudden, bam! What is that? Anybody tell me what that is? We're in the middle of the ocean.
Yes, I remember a couple years ago I did UFO reaction video, and I that one was a real spooky one. Thank you, Moki. All right, yeah. So you have these orbs that float around, and they are all over the world. I mean, you see over these oceans, and we don't know what they are, where they came from. Right? Oh, interesting. Yes, I agree.
Guías que transitaban por
Those things now allegedly, this is something created by AI, by the way, but this is allegedly these Minotaurs. It's not even called that, but it's these half human, half horses, and that is allegedly a creature that existed, that was a hybrid created by the Nephilims and aliens, angels that oh, the angels that came down here and fell from grace that mixed with a beast of the earth. Yeah, centaurs. Centaurs. Yeah, so in the Book of Enoch, there allegedly something that existed that I believe was true, and it was like a horse and a humanoid thing mixed together. Now, this is an AI generated thing, but people sometimes speculate that AI was created in this time when this stuff would be released, so people would think that it's not real, but it really is. So, yeah, so that is very interesting find, Moki. Thank you. Scared. Okay, another stupid AI. Whoa, that's a Cyclops. That's what those Nephilims and things would have looked like. You know. All right, Moki said they are trying to confuse us with all this AI stuff. I probably am confused. Yeah, scared. Scared. Well, Moki, you sacrificed your algorithm for a noble cause. And it is extremely well done. I mean, if this is real, that was a brilliant shot. I'm sure the Giant of Kandahar, although that doesn't look like the Giant of Kandahar, it would have been something like that, in a cave like that. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, you've seen the same video of the Cyclops and the Giant. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah, that looks interesting. That looks interesting. And yeah, that werewolf, that is a type of it would these creatures allegedly existed or still exist. Their series they still exist in remote caves and different places like that. And they are huge. The Nephilim, the giant offspring with the alien things. And there's more to this. Let's see. So I'll show you all the whole thing. Because there's a part of this. Okay, there you go. Okay. Land of the blind with one eye, king, hence one eye symbol. Yes, yes, the one eye symbol. I'm scared. Yes, the werewolf needs to do more yoga. That's true. Definitely. Ogi says, I've been reading the Bible and it talks about unicorns just like cows. Like nothing special or anything. Makes me think that unicorns are just an extinct animal. Moki, I remember my great grandmother has a Bible. Well, had a Bible that we inherited, and I remember I opened it up and the first thing I saw was about the unicorns. So yeah, I do think it is an extinct animal. I agree. Okay, about this portal. Okay.
Former OpenAI executive said, quote, "We're building portals from which we're genuinely summoning aliens. The portals currently exist in the United States and China, and Sam has added one in the Middle East. It's just like wildly important to get how scary that should be." This kind of AI capacity is shaping the balance of power between nations and all of our security. One former OpenAI executive said, quote, "We're building portals from which we're genuinely summoning aliens. The portals currently exist in the United States and China, and Sam has added one in the Middle East. It's just like wildly important to get how scary that should be." This kind of AI capacity is shaping the balance of power between nations and all of our security. One former OpenAI executive said, quote, "We're building portals from which we're genuinely summoning aliens. The portals currently exist in the United States and China, and Sam has added one in the Middle East."
Okay, thank you, Moki, for that one. And yeah, and Moki, I agree with you that one horned goat isn't that hard to believe, but it would have to have been a species of animal that always had a one horn. So it's either a species of goat that doesn't exist anymore, and they seem to be depicted like horses. There hasn't been anything specific about them being like a goat. Yamoki, I agree. You know, they're actively, you see right there, they're actively making portals that summon UFOs and aliens. So with AI, that is wild. You see, they're telling us right in our face all these different hints about what they're doing. You know, clearly in our faces. Absolutely. Yeah. And we're going to go to some theories and speculations. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Probably so. Well, that's funny, Moki. About the one horned goat. That's funny. Okay, thank you. Where mushrooms left and the dark feed. Well, yeah. Let's see. Let's go this way. Okay, so this is the one horned goat. Okay. There you go. You know, there's that thing right there. So there you go. You have one horned goat right there. Little unicorn dude. Yeah, definitely. Very interesting. Okay. Right. So these are the verses in the Bible that talk about the unicorns. God's strength is compared to that of a unicorn. And also, Deuteronomy refers to the horns of unicorns and blessings for Joseph. And Job said, "The ask if the unicorn will be willing to serve or abide by thy curb." Psalm says mentions being saved from the horns of the unicorns and exalted one's horn like that of a unicorn. Right, Isaiah describes unicorns as coming down along with the bullock and bulls. In Hebrew, Bible is translated Greek, around 3rd century BC, the I had goat with one horn. Oh wow, Mark! Wow, that's wild. And the Septu Septuagint around 3rd century BC, translators used the word monokeros, one horn, to translate aim. This became unicorns and the Latin Vulgate, and eventually unicorn in King James Version. Right, if the unicorns are real, described in the Bible, this appearance would most likely be due to the same factors that led to extinctions of other powerful megafauna, like the Oroches or the Siberian unicorn. Extinction through special means. Real animals, the reasonable biblical unicorn, like the giant one-horned Elamotrium, likely went extinct because they were picky eaters, specialized grazing. Now, this is a different animal than unicorn, though, and they were highly adapted to grazing on specific tough grasses on open steppes. Climate change, as now they're talking about climate change now. So they claim that the Earth warmed up after the Ice Age. These grasslands shrank or changed. Unlike more adaptable animals, creatures couldn't switch their diet, and they likely died out of habitat, disappeared. It's a giant one-horned. It's another creature. Like I'll show the creature that went extinct. This is actually a creature that really went extinct, that existed. Okay, this thing is a creature that went extinct a long time ago. So it's a unicorn. Oh, Mark, yeah. They're cool dogs with horns. All right, so the biblical context, the unicorn of Rahim was celebrated for its immense strength and untamable nature. It's sport hunting. Historically powerful beasts like the Oroches were popular targets for royal hunts, prove the king's bravery. Poaching for horn, just like modern rhinos are poached today, the real unicorns would have been prime targets. Legends of the horn's magical abilities to purify water or detect poison would have made them incredibly valuable on the black market, leading to rapid decline. Fair to domesticate, and the Bible specifically notes that unicorns could not be tamed to pull a plow or serve in a crib. Vulnerability. Animals cannot be domesticated like the quagga or dodo, often face higher risk of extinction because humans do not protect them for labor or food. Conflict. Their fierce and wild nature would have made them a nuisance to expand human settlements, leading to their being deleted off, protect livestock and crops. Genic mistranslation. Hypothetically, unicorns might still be with us just in different form. Some theories suggest that the early unicorn sightings were actually misidentified rhinoceroses or antelopes viewed from the side, which I disagree with. And or maybe they still exist today. They're just very scarce. Symbolic change. One over 1,000 of years, these real fierce animals became rarer. Stories about them became more magical and horse-like. Animal didn't physically vanish, rather the description changed much, but no longer recognized the real animal as the same creature. All right. All right. The original Hebrew word translated the unicorn or rahim. Yes, Smokey, please send them. Thank you. Original Hebrew, the word translated unicorn is rahim, unlike graceful white horse from the movies. The rahim was described as fierce, gargantuan beasts that struck fear into the people. Whoa. Scared. A fisher. Let's fix this thing so they can see it. Whoa. Whoa. That's a kappa. That's from Japan. What a find. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's see. Got some more.
Está casando. No creo que no se haya visto.
Yeah, Smokey, hilarious. Aaron before she gets her Canadian tea, yes.
¿Lo ves? No hagas ruido. Mira eso. Está cazando. No creo que nos haya visto. ¿Lo ves? No hagas ruido. Mira eso. Está cazando. No creo que nos haya visto. ¿Lo ves? No hagas ruido. Mira eso. Está cazando.
Okay, so that's what I look like in the morning. Oh yeah, yeah.
No creo que nos haya visto. ¿Lo ves? No hagas ruido. Mira eso.
Okay. Whoa. Wow, very cool. Yeah, that is basically the symbolism of the UFOs and our ships, you know, being cahoots with each other, or at least us using alien technology. That's very cool. Real identity of the Raheem and versus modern unicorns. While the name unicorn means, okay, let's see. Justin, aliens.gov appears to have moved off a parked state and is now throwing an SSL error suggesting a live server may be behind the domain. Wow. Well, thank you, Moki, for that information. So, just in, the aliens.gov appears to have moved off parked state and is now throwing an SSL error. Wow. Well, we're getting there. Thanks. Number of horns. While the name unicorn means one horn, Deuteronomy 3:17 explicitly describes the Rahim having horns plural. Scholars believe that one horn came idea from the Babylonian carving. Modern unicorns are like horses. The biblical Rahim. Oh, okay, Moki. I'm excited. I love these links. Okay, let's see another one. Modern unicorns are like horses. The biblical Rahim was likely an Arcus, a massive prehistoric ox, stood 6 feet tall. Oh, here we go. All right, let's go this way. Let's go here. Facts. Skinny Bob, which also really may be J Rod. Okay, that's J Rod. Yeah, I agree. I believe that Skinny Bob is real. This is what convinced me about aliens. Yeah. Bro is blinking. And I was reading that to fake that would have costed a fortune. If somebody like edited that, it would have been like, yeah, that's Skinny Bob. That's Skinny Bob. Yeah. It's to fake something like that would have costed a fortune, by the way. So yeah, I definitely believe that one is real. Oh, hilarious, Mark. It could. Okay. All right. Here's Skinny Bob. Okay. And 2011, a mysterious YouTube account called Ivan0135 uploaded several black and white clips show that the thin alien-like being with large, big black eyes, the internet later nicknamed creature Skinny Bob. Uploader claimed that it was from a secret KGB archives recorded in the 60s. Here we go. Okay, let's go here. Oh, Moki, that sounds cool. I like to see it. I don't think any of it looks fake. I think that the Skinny Bob is extremely real looking. Oh, hilarious, Mark. Okay, so that is Skinny Bob. And so, anyway, I believe that maybe it's his head is his stomach. Yeah, maybe so. But yeah, what I think with the Skinny Bob has never been debunked. It's just it's too intricate. Looking at its eyes and its face, it's blinking. It's blinking like a person, and it's being watched by something. You know. So with Skinny Bob, it's definitely, in my opinion, real because to wear a costume or something like that would have been, really not accurate. And there's no one that came out to claim that they did it because there's all kinds of internet like hoaxes that are released out there. But this one, usually the creators come forward. The creators have never come forward. So yeah, I definitely think it is some sort of real alien footage of some kind. Yeah. I mean, and he's very calm and he stays there and absorb what's going on. That's also what he does. Yeah, I agree it's a leaked video because especially when the USSR collapsed, I'm sure there could have been people that had information and they just leaked it somehow. Especially with all the chaos going on. So I remember that's what convinced me about aliens being real with Skinny Bob. Because it's like it couldn't be, you know, to me it looks realistic. To me it doesn't look CGI at all. It looks like it was real. Sometimes with CGI it looks just perfect. This it looks more grainy and more, realistic. Right. Oh yeah, Mark, those fingers are scared. Scared. Yeah, so unicorns probably went extinct from their habitats being messed up or the uh, poaching, but it's also possible that some of them could still exist. Just for the record. Yeah, and Skinny Bob and J Rod are similar types of entities. The gray aliens. That's an idea of what J Rod would have looked like too. Now, in this one, it would show that the gray alien, or it may be an Ebian, it could be an Ebian possibly, was not hostile toward the. It was not hostile towards the human. It was just letting them observe him. Okay. Alien autopsy. Oh yeah.
And he says, well, it's real or not, but he says, let me tell you this. From an intelligence officer's standpoint, there's 3 items that whoever faked this film, if they did fake it, could not know. Number 1, there was no emphatic system. Number 2, it had 2 brains, 4 lobes. One of the brains was laced with ICs. Of course, that was not in the film, but it did have 2 film. Integrated circuit. The other part is that it had 3 eyelids. It had the outside one that was removable, had a membrane, and then the eyeball. So Dad says, whoever faked this, if they did fake it, had the same report that he had from Walter Reed. You know the alien art.
Okay, so yeah, that definitely looks realistic to me. Definitely. Yeah, I it's raining. Okay, thank you. Seeing how these things work, it is, yeah, extremely telling. Yeah, that taking out its eye and it looks like a human eye. Yeah, that is very cool. It definitely, I think, is a true alien autopsy. Very cool. Thank you for sending that one. Okay, Moki. Good night to you. Thank you for coming. Uh, have a good night. It was very awesome hanging out with you. Oh yeah, that's the one, David. Yeah, facts. Facts. Oh, the phone, the wall is wrong. Interesting, Mark. Another extinct animal is this. Let's see. Oh, it's a dial phone. Okay. Or that's an extinct zebra. Existed a long time ago. And there's the dodo bird. That's another one that went extinct. Right there's a dodo. Okay, let's go here. I know. Yeah, definitely calling an animal that would be a shocking thing indeed. Yeah. Here's some other UFO stories. Okay, so UFOs, the cosmic Watergate. By the mid 1970s, belief in UFOs reached record highs. 57% of Americans believing they were real by 1978. Travis Walton incident, 1975. One of the most famous abduction cases, Walton, a logger in Arizona vanished for 5 days after allegedly being struck by a beam from a UFO in front of several witnesses. Skeptics argue it was a hoax to avoid financial penalties for a failed logging contract, but Walton and his crew maintained the story for decades. 1976 Tehran incident, and two Iranian F-4 fighter jets encountered a bright object that supposedly jammed their electronic systems. As a pilot prepared to fire, an instrument failed until he returned and retreated to an event documented in declassified U.S. Air Force. Hangar 18 and alien bodies. In 1974, theorist Robert Spencer Carr alleged that the bodies from 1948 crash were stored at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. This sparked a massive rabbit hole of government cover-up theories that researchers like J. Allen Hynek debunked a cosmic Watergate. All right, 1970s saw an official exposure to the MK Ultra deep state CIA program had been running for 2 decades. Rabbit hole. Congressional investigations revealed that the agency used LSD hypnosis and sensory deprivation on unwitting subjects to research mind control. This fueled theories that many strange encounters are sudden behavioral shifts. Individuals during that era were actually results of the book's government conditioning. Cryptids and high strangeness, which I talked about this earlier this morning, everybody. For many of you that were there, the 1970 an urban legend originating from two incidents in Fairfax County, Virginia, involving a man in a white bunny suit who attacked people with an axe. The story evolved into a ghost legend that still haunts the local Bunny Map Bridge. Mothman Point Pleasant, 1966 to 67. While the main sightings ended in the late 60s, the fallout and Men in Black encounters continued to haunt the region well into the 70s, with many witnesses claiming lasting psychological and physical scars. The Erdington murder coincidence. In a bizarre glitch in the Matrix event, Barbara Forrest was murdered in Erdington, England on May 27, 1974. Incredibly, Mary Ashford was murdered on the exact same spot, the exact same date, White Monday 1927 and 1817. In both cases, a man named Thornton was arrested and later cleared. Okay. 1930s were identified by the Great Depression and led up to World War II, creating a perfect storm of desperation, propaganda, and high strangeness before the modern UFO era even began. Right, long before 1947 Roswell incident, the skies were already busy with unidentified craft. The 1933 fascist UFO crash, decades before Roswell. Flying saucer supposedly crashed near Milan, Italy. Conspiracy researchers pointed to the fascist UFO files, alleged that Benito Mussolini authorized a secret group, cabinet RS-33, to study the craft. The ghost flyers. Throughout the 1930s, mysterious ghost flyers were reported across America. Some theories wonder if these were early UFO secrets, enemy craft testing, or international boundaries. Mount Everest pulsating spots. During the 1933 expedition to Mount Everest, climbers Frank Smith reported seeing two hovering, pulsating objects in the sky, a rare high altitude encounters from that era. Cryptids and hidden cities. 1930s were a peak time for explorers stumbling upon things that shouldn't exist. Lizard People of Los Angeles, 1934. Mining engineers J. Warren Shufflet claimed that he had discovered a labyrinth of tunnels and a lost city of lizard people under the Los Angeles using radio X-ray device. He believed they lived there thousands of years ago to escape the Great Catastrophe. The San Pedro Mountains mummy. In 1932, the prospectors of Wyoming blasted a cave and found that a tiny 14-inch mummy sitting across legged. While many believe it was a tragic medical case, local legends of little people and alien theories have kept Rabbit Hole alive for nearly a century. The Tuskegee syphilis experiment, 1932. Medical conspiracy. Some 1930s rabbit holes turned out to be horrifyingly real. This wasn't a theory, it was a 40-year-old government conspiracy of U.S. Public Health Services misled nearly 400 African American men, telling them they're receiving free health care when actually tracking the progression of untreated syphilis even after a cure became widely available. Mass hysteria and propaganda. War of the Worlds, 1938. Orson Welles' radio broadcast War of the Worlds famously caused mass panic as many listeners believed a real Martian invasion was happening. Conspiracy theories often viewed this as an early social experiment to see how easily the public could be manipulated by mass media. The Business Plot, 1933. Retired Marine Corps Major General Smedley Butler alleged that the group of wealthy businessmen conspired to overthrow President FDR, install a fascist dictator. While the Congressional Committee confirmed parts of the plan, no one ever prosecuted, leaving it as a massive what if in American history. The Aurora, Texas legend. While the actual crash reportedly happened in 1897, the 1930s saw a resurgence of interest in the story of Martian pilot buried in local well, serving as a prototype for later crash retrieval conspiracies. War of the Worlds, 1938. Beyond just being a fake news event, Orson Welles' broadcast is often cited as a deliberate psychological experiment to test public reaction to an alien invasion, solidify the idea of hostile invader. I read that already. Invaders from Mars. Okay. Mother plane in 1931. Following the Japanese invasion, W.D. Fard, which was also the founder of Nation of Islam, introduced the concept of mother plane, an apocalyptic high-tech weapon of war that later became a central UFO-related religious tenet. The Geff of the Mongoose case in 1931-1937. One of the decade's most surreal encounters occurred in the Isle of Man, where the Ivering family claimed to live with a talking mongoose named Geff. Rabbit hole. Geff claimed to be an extra clever mongoose from India who could speak multiple languages and become invisible. Controversy. The case became a national sensation, drawing a famous paranormal investigators like Harry Price and even leading to high-profile 1937 slander trial in British courts. Modern theorists sometimes link Geff to Tulpas or extra-dimensional entities. He said at school we learned about War of the Worlds, Flat World. Yeah, so it could be a flat world. That's funny. And the War of the Worlds is a apocalyptic alien invasion, and people definitely are upset. Were upset at the time about it, and it definitely scary for people at the time that experienced that. You don't think people are scared? Well, when it broadcasted on a radio, people thought it was real. Scared. Oh, you were 11. Okay. Okay. Nice. Scared. High altitude and high strangeness. The 1930s miracle of Fatima, recognized October 1930, Catholic Church officially recognized 1917 miracle of the sun. Modern UFOologists like Jacques Vallée have reinterpreted these events as a massive UFO encounters rather than religious miracles. The Dulce Green Fireballs. Legends of green fireballs and strange aerial activity over New Mexico supposedly began in late 1930s, predating the town's 1970s reputation as a secret underground alien base. Mark says they all ran to buy toilet paper and Nutella. Yes. There you go. That's true. That's exactly what they did immediately. 1920s, the Roaring Twenties were time of rapid social change and deep-seated paranoia. While modern UFO lore hadn't yet been formalized, the decades was filled with strange aerial sightings, secret government experiments, and bizarre cryptid encounters. Before flying saucers became a household term, people in the 20s reported inexplainable aerial phenomena that challenged the limits of early aviation. 1920s Okoulji, the monster meteor. In Oklahoma, a massive object crashed and was so unusual it promoted investigation by scientists like Dr. Lincoln LaPaz. The 1921 Martian transmissions. Famous inventor Guglielmo Macaroni claimed to have received transmissions from Mars. While mainstream scientists were skeptical, it fueled a massive rabbit hole of belief in extraterrestrial communication. The 1924 Men in Black cover up. The Braxton County, West Virginia reported UFO was crashed and was allegedly covered by mysterious men in dark suits decades before the Men in Black became a staple of UFO mythology. The Great Experiment of Poison. Okay, 1920s saw the most chilling real world conspiracies involving the government overreach during Prohibition. The poison alcohol conspiracy. To enforce Prohibition, the U.S. government intentionally poisoned industrial alcohol with chemicals like perlocene and methyl alcohol. It's estimated that by 1927, these dentured supplies. Oh, you'd be scared of the black-eyed children. Scared. Yeah, Mark. There is a case about that happening where there's these kids and they had this black eyes, like the Greys, and they're trying to lead them somewhere, and the dude was like, "I don't know what this is, but I ain't going," and they just vanished. Yeah, there's definitely they're probably not even children. They're probably some sort of other entity disguising themselves as that. I would be as well, Mark. And poison industrial alcohol with chemicals like kerosene and methyl alcohol. It's estimated that by 1927, these deterred supplies killed hundreds of people in New York City alone. Eugenicist cult. 1920s were height of the state-sponsored eugenics movements in America. Many people believed that the government often supported the idea of cleansing the human gene pool through forced sterilizations. Heavily criticized by figures like Clarence and Darrow. I definitely agree. And it is best to if you ever saw something like that, what I would do is just like walk away because it would if it's possible. Now, if it was proven it was a gray alien in disguise or something, then I mean these things have supernatural abilities, but you do what you could to get out the region. And but I also agree with you, Mark. Definitely. Right, so cryptids and transdimensional visitors. 1920s produced some of the earliest modern cryptid sightings and still haunt researchers today. Okay, there's a Mothman in 1922 that predates the one from the 60s. Long before the famous 1960 sightings, some accounts suggest a moth-like creature arrived in the Hubble, Nebraska via a spacecraft. Oh, they say to shut the door. Yes, yes, that is a good idea. Scared. Because a lot of times with the entities, you have to invite them in, like a vampire or whatever. You have to invite them in. If you don't invite them in, they will stay out. Old Yellow Top, 1923, near the Cobalt, Ontario. Prospectors reported seeing a Bigfoot-like creature with distinct light-covered mane. It was described as standing on two legs and growling like a bear they had ever seen. 1928 Goey sighting. In Woodinbong, Australia, a man reported 7 foot tall, hairy gorilla like monster, sparking legends that made the town the unofficial capital of Yowie country. 1920 Wall Street bombing. A horse-drawn wagon packed with explosives blew up in front of the J.P. Morgan and Company offices, deleting 38 people. The perpetrators were never caught, leading to endless theories about the anarchist plot or deep state assassinations. First Red Scare, the fear of Bolshevism influence in the Palmer raids, the thousands of arrested and warrants in the era of extreme surveillance led to the groundwork of modern deep state control conspiracies. Interesting. 1920s saw a massive spike in legendary cryptid reports ranging from I like being on that family call on when there's someone outside the dark. I go out yelling, "Arr!" Yes, yeah, Mark. I definitely would think you're the one they would call on, and you go out screaming, "Arr!" Facts, facts, definitely. Then you take care of business. The sea of the siege of Ape Canyon in 1924. Perhaps the most violent cryptid encounter on record took place near Mount St. Helens, Washington. Incident. A group of 5 gold miners claimed that they were besieged in their cabin by several 7 foot tall hairy gorilla men, and the battle after one miner shot at the creature. Earlier that day, the ape man retaliated at night by pounding on walls and hurling heavy boulders onto the cabin roof. The miner even reported a hairy arm reaching through a gap at the logs and grabbed an axe. Aftermath. The terrified miners fled at dawn, abandoning their expensive gear, while Forest Service rangers were skeptical. The site was officially named Ape Canyon to commemorate the event. Maritime travel in the 1920s brought multiple reports of unidentified leviathans. The the Clemente monster, 1920 to 1921. Fisherman George Farnsworth reported a close encounter with massive creature off San Clemente Island that stood 15 to 20 feet out of the water. The Lake Winnipegosis monster, 1920, reports surface of a large serpentine beast in Canadian Lake, often described as having a horse-like head and dark scaly skin. See that ship found at sea. Tables were ready for dinner. Just dog on board. I think. Okay. So yeah, that's very mysterious. How they all just vanished out of thin air. It's quite a shocking thing. The Old Ned of Lake Utopia. In Brunswick sightings of Old Ned, a fast-swimming, scaly serpent-like creature gained traction during the 1920s based on local accounts. All right, explorers in 1920s discovered local legends that would become pillars of modern cryptozoology. Mongolian deathworm. Explorer Roy Chapman Andrews was the first to write about this legendary creature of Gobi Desert. It was described as a 2 to 5 foot long red worm that could kill a distance using acid or electricity. Yeah, Mark, those guys watching their mate get beamed up would have been a scared. Yeah, scared. Definitely. All right, the Blue Tiger, 1924. American missionary Harry Chadwell detailed his hunts for the Malsete tiger, a rare slate blue variant of the predator in China in his 1924 book, The Blue Tiger. Okay, and so that's some pretty interesting stuff right there. Let's see. Let's see, 5, 7. All right, we're gonna talk about the 7 most famous ghost ships. Mark said, "Don't know what to think of wedding cake UFO you see." A wedding cake UFO. That sounds like a good idea, in my opinion. Like a wedding cake looking UFO. That'd be cool. Murray Celeste, 1872. The gold standard of ghost ships. It was found drifting near the Azores with its cargo of alcohol intact, its lifeboat missing, and meals seemingly left mid preparation, yet none of the 10 people on board were ever found. Mark Alien, have you seen the New Zealand channel called The Mountain of Entity? He does a lot of base paranormals. Okay. I will. I have not seen him, but I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna go right there. Okay. Thank you, bro. Okay. Thank you. All right. The Carol A. Deering, 1921. A 5-mastered sonar found hard aground on Diamond Scullis, North Carolina. The crew was gone. Food was on the stove, and lifeboats were missing. It remains one of the most investigated maritime mysteries of U.S. history. SS Bay Chimo, 1931, trapped in Arctic ice and abandoned. The ship refused to sink for the next 38 years. It was cited repeatedly by sailors and unit groups drifting aimlessly through the ice packs until its last confirmed sighting in 1969. Yeah, shout out to the UAPs. MV Joy Ita, 1955. Found listing in partially submerged in the South Pacific with all the 25 passengers and crew missing. Crazily, a doctor's bag was found on deck with bloody bandages, despite the ship being considered unsinkable due to its cork lining. Yeah, harder. Yeah, scared. Hard. Hard. I like the way you say your R's. Okay, thanks. Thanks. Yeah. Hard. The SS Orang Median, 1947. A chilling tale of Dutch freighter found with its entire crew deleted dead, their faces frozen in grotesque expressions of horror, aimed to the sky. The ship exploded and sank shortly after rescuers boarded, leaving no evidence for its existence. The Octavius, 1775. According to legend, the ship discovered off Greenland with entire crew frozen solid. The captain was reportedly found still sitting on his desk, pen in hand, with a logbook entry from 13 years earlier. The Kaz the Second. Okay, Enver Cargill. Okay, Cargill. And the Kaz 2. 2007. Often called the Ghost Yacht, was found drifting off the Australian coast with its engines running, a laptop turned on, and dinner set on a table. But the three-man crew was gone. Lyubov Orlova, 2013. A Soviet era cruise ship that broke line and drifted into the North Atlantic. It became a modern rat-infested ghost ship, legend with fears it might crash into European coasts. Sabrina, 1917. A British barge found aground in France with its crew missing, but the cargo and sails perfectly interacting, leading the theories of a secret U-boat abduction. Oh, okay, UAP, thank you for the info. Inver Cargo. Inver Cargo. Okay. That's pretty cool. Mark said the Dunedin there about 10 times was on gas ship MTU. Katuko. Interesting. Right. Mystery of the ghost boats. Findings since 2013, over 500 such vessels have been recorded by Japanese Coast Guard. The boats are typically simple, flat-bottomed wooden craft, 15-20 feet long, lacking modern GPS or engines. Grim cargo. While some boats arrive empty, many contain partially skeletonized remains. In particularly chilling cases, authorities have discovered headless bodies or multiple skulls within a single hull. The Invercargill twice bluff like 20 times. Chatham Island 4. Okay. Y'all's islands look awesome, by the way, from my point of view. Stewart Island is stunning when it's not raining. Oh, that definitely. Let's see. Is anything here? Okay. That's a nice island right there. There's Southern Lights there. There you go. Oh, it's seriously Jurassic. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, the buildings look like Tartaria. Yeah. Clues and origins evidence found on board include Korean lettering, North Korean cigarette boxes, and lapel pens featuring Kim Jong the second, Il Sung or Kim Jong Un strongly points to North Korea. What does that look like? Oh yes, I can imagine is very nice seafood. Indeed. Well, hello Fifi. Welcome to the stream. Top theories of rabbit holes. Desperation theory. Many experts believe that these are North Korean fishermen forced into dangerous, distant waters to meet the state mandated quotas or combat food shortages. The Chinese Armada conspiracy. A 2020 study of global fishing watch suggested that massive dark Chinese fishing fleet illegally operates in North Korean waters, violently pushing smaller North Korean boats into the turbulent open sea. Spies and defectors. Local paranoia occasionally suggests that boats carry spies or weapon diseases. Through most survivors found alive only to be returned home to North Korea. UAP says, I camped in the bush for roughly 2.5 months on Stewart Island. Ah, very cool, UAP. Sounds like an adventure. The Legend of Utsuro 1803. For those looking in the more ancient rabbit hole, the Japan legendary ghost ship story of 19th century. 1803, a strange hollow boat made of rosewood and metal reportedly washed up Hitachi province. Passenger. A beautiful young woman emerged speaking an unknown language and clutching a mysterious box she wouldn't let anyone touch. Some modern theories claim that it was her early UFO encounter or visitor from another dimension. Hello there, mermaid. Welcome back. Good chat. To ya Terra. To ya Tara. Yeah. The open sea is one of the oldest stages of paranormal where isolation and danger have birthed legends that blur lines between myth and documented history. This schooner is said to appear every 50 years. There's a lady love bond ship. The schooner is said to appear every 50 years to reenact its own destruction in the Goodwin Sands, a notorious ship graveyard often the coast of Kent. Oh, with Kiwis and all those everywhere. Wow, that's very cool. Legend. February 13, 1748, Captain Simon Reed was celebrating his wedding on board. His first mate, John Rivers, was allegedly in love with the bride, and a fit of jealous rage steered the ship directly into the sands, leading everyone on board. Haunting. The ship reportedly reappears as a phantom glowing with eerie white or green lights. Significant sightings were noted in 1798 and 1848. In 1898 and 1848, the next expected appearances February 13, 2048. It's an interesting question. I'd say they would taste like a scare. The Kauuchi. this again. And let's go this way. Cal Eluce. Anyway, known as the Magic Ship. Oh yeah, Mermaid. We hope you have a good night too. Thank you for wishing us a good night as well. We're talking about some ghost ship stories and chilling. This sentient shape shifting vessel from the Chilip mythology. Phenomenon. It appears as a brilliant lit white sailing ship accompanied by the sound of parties, music, and laughter. It's said to sail incredible speeds and can submerge or transform into a rock or tree to hide. The crew, some legends say, it is crewed by those who drowned at sea, while darker versions claim it is controlled by powerful warlocks, warjos, who kidnapped sailors and deformed them as eternal servants. A classic. Okay, there's the Palatine Light, a classic American ghost ship, legend based in 1738. It used to bring wild cows and sheep to Nipper from Chim Island, a 48-hour trip. That's pretty cool. That certainly was hard work. You know, a very that's a big journey right there. Yeah. The curse. Local lore suggested that the ship was lured into the shoals of Block Island by Rex, who intended to salvage its cargo. A sighting every year during the week between Christmas and New Year's. Oh, it is our pleasure, mermaid. Fact. The curse. Local lore suggests the ship was lured into the shoals of the Block Island by wreckers who intended to salvage its cargo. The sighting. Every year during the week between Christmas and New Year's, witnesses claim to see a blazing ghost ship on the horizon, the Palatine Light burning in a distance as a reminder of the tragedy. That would have been fun trip. A lot of UAP activity around the Chathamas as well. 15 sheep passed away in the voyage. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, definitely. a definitely a rough journey indeed. Most famous maritime legend depicting a ship doomed to sail forever without ever reaching the port. Oh, they had no sea legs. Yeah, okay. Yeah. The captain's oath. Legend states that Captain Hendrik van der Decken swore he would round the Cape even if it took until Judgment Day. Omen. Seeing the Dutchman often described as a glowing red or spectral ship with torn black sails is considered a potent of doom any sailor who witnesses it. A Lieutenant Dan. Story of the SS Orang Medan is ultimate radio horror rabbit hole. In June 1947, 1948, depending on the source, several ships in the Strait of Malacca picked up a frantic Morse code distress signals that remains one of the most chilling transmissions in history. The SOS came in two parts. The first was panicked garble of dots and dashes. All officers, including captain, are deleted dead, lying in chart room, and bridge, possibly whole crew dead. Followed by a string of decipherable Morse code, often final clear, terrifying sentence, I die. Gruesome discovery. When American merchant ship Silver Star located the and boarded the drifting vessel, they found a scene straight out of a nightmare. Frozen crew. Every person on board was deleted dead, but their bodies showed no signs of physical injury. Expression. Every man was found with his eyes wide open, teeth bared, and his face twisted into a ghastly expression of fear. As if they had seen something that literally scared them to deletion death. Despite the tropical weather, rescuers reported that hold of the ship felt unnaturally bone chilling and cold. Mark said, I was the cook. I didn't realize there were 60 roasts in the hole. Oh, okay. Okay. Scared. Rabbit hole theories. Just as Silver Star attempted to tow the ship port, smoke began billowing from the cargo hold. The rescuer barely escaped. Yeah. Just the Silver Star attempted to tow the ship to port. Smoke began billowing from the cargo hold. Rescuers barely escaped before the orang median exploded the tank and taking evidence with it. Chemical weapons. The most logical theory is that the ship was smuggling unregistered nerve gas or potassium cyanide, possibly left over from World War II Unit 731. A leak could have poisoned the crew and caused later explosion. Deep sea gas. Some believe the methane bubble rose from the seafloor, suffocating the crew instantly and causing the ship to eventually ignite. Paranormal. Because of the terrifying faces and lack of physical trauma, many paranormal researchers believe that the crew encountered a non-human entity or a rift in spacetime. The ghost of the ship itself. The strangest part, there is no official record of the ship named the Medane ever in maritime registry from that era. This has led to many believe it was a black ops or vessel completely fabricated legend or designated cover-up. Alright, so that is a very disturbing one indeed. Alright, so the Edo period in Japan had some interesting things, and during Edo period 1603 to 1668, maritime ghost stories flourished as part of the Kaidan ghost story tradition. The most famous ghost ship from the era is Ustoro Dune, a incident that made modern theorists link the early UFO encounters through deeply rooted folklore at the time. Mark said, went to Nauru after the pier. You don't want to go there, trust me, bro. Okay, bro, I got you. We won't go there. Scared. Scared. 10 days at sea was good. Okay. Okay. Ship described as this ship was described as round, metallic, plated with glass windows. Oh, the cannibals! Oh lord, lord, scared. Japanese boat from the era. Inhabitant. Inside was a beautiful young woman who pale skin, red hair, who spoke unknown language. Mystery box. She clutched a small square box, refused to let anyone touch it. Fearful, unable to communicate, villagers eventually pushed the ship away. Woman back at sea. Okay, the Funa boat spirits. Unlike the single ship, these are vengeful spirits of those who were deleted at sea. They encounter, they They often appear on stormy or foggy nights, pulling alongside living ships. One guy had me worried, showing me a cave in the bush. Scared? Oh, scared. Wow, that really is. I'd be uncertain myself. It's like, where is you going with that, dude? That's what I'd be like. Oh, who is you, bro? It's like, who is that trying to bring us into a cave? The trick. The ghost demanded Hishaku, let's call it the ladle, and then proceed to pour sweet water into the boat until it sinks. Countermeasures. Experienced Edo period sailors knew to carry bottomless ladles to foil the ghost's attempt. Yeah, scared and violated. Oh, a Japanese landed there. Okay, I got you. All right, there's a sea monk, a terrifying giant spirit with a smooth monk-like head that rises from the waves. The capsized ship, the sailor Zuku. A famous Edo story tells of the sailor who defied bad luck by sailing on the last day of the year. When giant Yumi appeared and asked, "What is the most horrible thing you know?" Zuku boldly replied, "My profession," which satisfied the monster enough to let him pass. All right, the Tyra ghost. Legend dates further back, a staple of Edo period theater after the defeats of the Battle of Dan no Yura. The spirits in Tyra claimed the samurai were said to haunt the Kanaman Straits in Funa in full armor, attempting to drag passing ships to the depths. Okay, let's see. Yeah, me too, Mark. Scared. All right. Most documented terrifying accounts occurred during the Japanese occupation of Nauru, 1942-1945. The incident: as Allied forces cut off supply lines to the island, starving Japanese garrison and local population faced extreme famine. September 1945, reports emerged from liberated prisoners claiming that cannibalism was a laid to extreme on Nauru. Surviving Indian and Australian POWs recounted instances where the soldiers resorted to cannibalism due to lack of rations. The in Nauru on the traditional history of cannibalism, not just wartime rumor, but a part of their ancient tribal structures. So the Rusty tribe, of the 12 original tribes of Nauru, yeah, one was known for the Iruts. According to the government of the Republic of Nauru, the tribe was traditionally associated with cannibalism through practice is now extinct allegedly. The country that ate itself. The phrase often used the metaphor of Nauru's modern history. After becoming one of the wealthiest nations in the 70s due to phosphate mining, the island's environmental and economic collapse led to its reputation as the country that literally ate itself. Fiji, known historically as Cannibal Island, where warfare, ritualizing, eating the enemies were common until late 1800s. Wow. I didn't know Fiji was like that. That's crazy. The Papua, home to the four people who practiced cannibalism until the 1960s. Whoa, that's wild. Wild. Let's do this. Okay, so let's go there. The Naurian mythology, the world began inside the giant mussel shell found endless void. The Polyidal spider, the supreme deity, the ancient spider managed to pry the shell open and found two snails and a worm living inside. Sun and moon, the the whole island chain, almost right through the India, all have cannibalism in their cultures. Not sure about Tongan or Samoan. Okay, thank you. Okay, and the Samoa cannibalism is largely remembered through the figure of King Mali, early 14th century. Royal feast. Legend says the families were forced to sacrifice loved ones for the king's daily meals. The reunification. Practice reportedly ended when the king was moved by the devotion of two brothers, offered themselves to save their village, led to this decision abolished the custom forever. The Tonga. Tonga's history regarding cannibalism highly contested. The, the exceptional practice, many early accounts, such as those from missionary Williams, suggest cannibalism was exceptional and often seen as a foreign influence, likely from warfare with Fiji. Yes. Yes. All right. There's a cannibalism belt. Right? Fiji is Cannibal Islands. Ritualized warfare and prestige. New Guinea. Practice is a form of justice against suspected witches. Punishment and protection from evil. The Sumatra. The Batek people were described as cannibalistic headhunters as far back as 2nd century CE. Justice for crimes like theft or treason. The Maori, oh, they did it too. Okay, that makes sense. Right, they did it for justice for crimes like theft or treason. The Borneo. Some Dayak groups consumed human flesh during the headhunting expeditions and harvesting festivals. Okay. All right, let's see about this one. Traditional Australian Aboriginal cultures did involve the anthropology eating human flesh, though it was strictly ritualized and significantly different from the predatory cannibalism found in the other islands. The most common form is associated with death mourning, often termed as mortuary mortuary cannibalism. Interesting. Respect for the dead. In some groups, like the diary, relatives consume a small portion of the loved one's body fat as a sign of affection to keep the deceased spirit close. Spiritual transfer. Some Queensland tribes believe that eating small portions of the warrior or medicine man allowed his knowledge of soul substance to pass to survivors. Reincarnation beliefs. Parts of Central Australia, the mother might consume the flesh of the stillborn so the spirit could be reborn through her later. Revenge on magic. Revenge and magic. Inheriting strength. Warriors might eat the heart of brave enemy to inherit his valor, or legs of fast runner to gain his speed. Some groups, like the Nag-Arigo, reportedly consume parts of the slain enemy while expressing contempt for them as a final act of victory. The Bon-ing test. In some Central Australian lore, eating the piece of the deleted man was used to prove innocence. The man had been boned or deleted by sorcery. His flesh theoretically poisoned the guilty party. Okay, so let's see what chat says. I mean, the Amazonian tribes and the Congolese tribes also practice the same thing, not isolated to India or south of Asia. The heart tastes better while it's pumping, apparently. Weird. All right. Alien, have you seen those banned '80s documentaries, shocking Asia. No, I've not seen those. I'll certainly look into it. I'm sure it's a like a zombie apocalypse, most likely. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's important to document these things about what happens in these countries because people need to know like what it was like and the struggles that were being faced. Yeah, I mean, so definitely people going to these islands and stuff. It certainly would have been really cool to see the beautiful beaches, but then you have these people there trying to eat you. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Okay. Okay. I didn't give you a stink eye. I didn't even look at you. North Siento Island. Oh, okay. I appreciate you, AP, for the info. Thank you. Now, it's raining where I am, so I'm not exactly certain how the garden live is going to go tonight. But if there's like some sort of a space of some sort, I'll be able to do that. I will. I'll see about something. Oh, the jerky. I'm sure. I've not heard about the jerky, but I have an idea about what the jerky is. Weird. Yeah, and I just never knew that about Fiji. Let's do this here. Okay, I am back. All right, and let's see this. Okay, now yeah, so that's some information about the islands and okay. UAP says if Fiji was bad, they'd hack you up with a machete. Yeah, they always had it as a peaceful island where I am, a place everyone needed to go. Man, okay, thank you. It sounds like a there's cannibals there with machetes. It's good to know. Right, if you're good with putting bait on a hook, you're a masturbator. Hilarious, Mark. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and also we have yeah. So anyway, the I now know about the island being a cluster of a bunch of different islands that were all cannibals. Yeah, I've heard about cannibalism and islands, but not all over the place like that. Oh, I'm sure they had a lot of civil wars, and they went and ate each other too when they were done with each other. So yeah, it definitely seemed very divided. Just the humans all over the place seem to do this all the time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So uh, definitely, I guess in a way, you have to be careful in those islands. I went to Suava and Lakota's Fuji. Oh yeah, definitely. I agree. And Indonesia too. Those people that went to Australia, I know Australia was a prison island, but the people that y'all that like stay down there, really brave because it's with all the cannibalism and stuff going on. Yeah, Indonesia. Indonesia has a complex history of cannibalism, which traditionally practiced it as a form of justice, spiritual ritual, and wartime relations. Retaliation. The Korowai tribe. Korowai are often cited as the largest who have practiced ritual cannibalism through modern era. Oh, UAP said we were warriors, haha. Now we are sellouts. Facts. Oh yeah, right. And y'all are y'all are cool people, and you know Rambuka Fiji. No, I'm not familiar with it. Oh. Okay, the Kaha Kayuha Kayua Ka Kaha Kayua. They believe that the mysterious deaths were caused by malevolent witches and who ate their victims from inside out to restore balance and archive justice of the tribe, execute consumers of the Kaha. The current status: most experts believe that this practice has largely ceased. Clans have moved into government established villages. Some isolated clans might still maintain these traditions, though there are also reports of tribes exaggerating these stories for benefits of tourism and documentary crews. Yeah, I never said cannibalism happens today, but it happened in the past. That's what I meant. Um, so, see, I'm still reading. Oh, okay, Mark, I get it. I get it. All right. And historically, the Asmat believed that they could absorb an enemy's spiritual power by consuming them and keeping their skull. The Michael Rockefeller mystery. The 1961 American heir, Michael Rockefeller, disappeared in Asmat territory. While officially declared drowned, a enduring conspiracy theory suggests he was deleted and eaten by Asmat or retaliation for a Dutch patrol killing several of their tribesmen. Epstein file jerky still happens today. Yeah, that is true. That still is going on, and it doesn't really seem like they're trying to, hold people accountable. It was reserved for serious offenses such as treason, murder, or adultery. Criminal would execute their flesh, distributed amongst the community as a way to remove the evil from their society. Tradition efficiency ended in the mid 19th century. All right, so the eat owl's eyes makes you see at night. Oh, okay. Good to know, Mark. Scared. All right, the root practice cannibalism and context of head hunting warfare. Wartime rituals. Consuming parts of the fallen enemy was a way to humiliate them and claim their strength. recent history. While traditional cannibalism was weeded out long ago, reports of ritualized acts emerged as recently as 1990s, early 2000s, during the intense ethnic conflicts such as the Sappic conflict, where old head-hunting traditions were briefly revived in the heat of battle. Let's see. All right, so let's go this way. Okay, I'm going to be getting some things done, chat, and I will probably see you all later on the Garden Live or something like that, depending on how the weather is. And Mark, UAP, very excellent discussion, and peace.